Rhinoceroses live in Asia, which differ from their African distant relatives in appearance. The Asian branch does not have such a long and pronounced horn, but it has a more prominent skin, the hardened plates of which provide excellent protection. And together with a huge mass, this makes Asian rhinos living tanks, which are difficult for any other animals in this habitat to cope with. That's just like the Garas are lovers of difficult tasks. They do not like arrogant rhinos who easily and without doubt rush to attack anyone who makes at least one sharp nod of their head in their field of vision. The Gaur decided to show the rhino that he didn't know who he was messing with. The beginning of the confrontation between the two beasts looks pretty epic. They, like the knights before a fight, stood opposite each other. The beasts boast of strength and size, and we can appreciate how massive and muscular these rivals are. But don't be fooled. Although it seems that the Gaur is approximately equal to the rhinoceros in size and height at the withers, it significantly loses to the enemy in mass. The Gaur is about 3 times lighter. That's just not stopping the ungulate at all. The rivals are circling as if dancing. When one steps in, the other takes a step back. But pay attention, the Gaur's attacks are always going to be more brazen. He stops later as if to show that he does not want bloodshed, but will definitely go to the end if provoked. The rhinoceros is proud and does not immediately retreat. But the tenacity and maneuverability of the enemy gradually makes the rhino doubt his victory. As a result, he boastfully throws his head up to show fearlessness and runs away. The Gaur drove him out of his territory, where his family will now be able to graze in peace. The bull was lucky. If the rhino hadn't flinched, the fight might not have gone according to this scenario at all. Yeah, you understood everything correctly. The Gaur was bluffing, and thanks to this, he defeated the rhinoceros. This duel between two bulls seemed like ordinary fun, but in fact, the situation is much more dangerous than it seems. The two beasts grappled, and one of them tried to cover the advisor's muzzle with his own head. Thus, a more aggressive bull drowns his opponent because he keeps his nose underwater, keeping himself able to breathe. The bull whose head was left at the bottom is shocked. He did not expect that an ordinary competition would turn into a life-threatening adventure when he was literally drowned right in front of the herd. Fortunately, he managed to free himself from the grip, but now he will not underestimate the aggression of his relatives. When a family of Indian elephants came out of the jungle into the clearing, they noticed that this place was already occupied. A bull Gaur was grazing there. Elephants are the largest and the most massive land animals in the world. Although the Indian elephant is much smaller than the African elephant, it is still heavier than the Gaur, as much as the polar bear is heavier and more massive than the spaniel. That's just the character of the Gaur. It's like not at all that of a dog with funny hanging ears. The Gaur is not going to let the elephants in. He confronts them and shows with all his appearance that he is ready for a fight. Of course, the elephants are young, but they are much easier to intimidate than a mature giant. But they give in because they don't know who they're messing with. Pay attention to the funny detail here. The elephants noticed that people were filming them on video and ran towards the car. It was as if they were ashamed that some bull had driven an entire group of elephants out of the pasture. If elephants could talk, then this beast running at them would shout, "Hey, delete that video! Delete the video! Otherwise it'll be just like in the movie Gentlemen." Delete the video, don't embarrass us. But it's too late. We've seen this now. And now we know that sometimes bulls can be, if not in battle, then cooler in character than elephants. By the way, the car that the cameraman was in left, and the elephants let them go and did not cause them any harm. They may even have chased the car to ask them for protection. Who knows? Really? Surprisingly, this is not the only such case. Here, a huge Gaur was able to push back and expel a more adult and large elephant from the clearing. In fact, the bull was lucky that he did not touch the opponent and only pressed him with authority. If the bull had hit the elephant with its horns, then the larger beast would probably have gone berserk and would have kicked the ungulate, trampled it into the mud. And so the elephant retreats. The peace-loving animal is trying to find a compromise and loses a convenient place to graze. Is this a shame? Maybe, but the bull also knows how to stop in time and attack when the opportunity arises. Thanks to this, well, Thanks to self-confidence, he wins the confrontation. One of the most popular breeds in America is the Longhorn. The main distinguishing feature of these ungulates is the huge, powerful, and incredibly long horns that radiate from the animal's skull in different directions. Most of the horn goes exactly to the side of the head, but the tip bends at a steep angle and bends forward. The base of such horns is proportionally powerful, so the blow of the longhorn is like a battering ram. The horns are strong and gradually narrow. These bulls are very massive and have powerful muscles, so even when a small run, they can deliver a terrible blow to the enemy. At the same time, the target of the attack seems to be trapped by the tips of the horn. If the longhorn hits the target from the side, so much the better, because the sharp tips of the weapon can easily rip open the skin of even a mother cougar. Even members of their own herd should not joke with this longhorn. The male jerked his head, and the tip of his horn kicked the opponent in the hind leg. Due to the swing, the blow was quite powerful. And this bull did not aim to cripple his enemy, only to just teach him a lesson. Actually, these bulls were bred for this purpose. Farmers wanted a breed of cattle that could be released for free, grazing on the prairies and pampas. Longhorns don't need guards. They can protect themselves. The most unusual thing about this breed is its amazing loyalty to humans. Do you expect that it is extremely difficult to cope with the longhorn? And this bull will rush at its own owner, destroy fences on the farm, and attack other cattle? Not at all. On the contrary, longhorns are gentle and even caring towards people. At the same time, the backline of this impressive hoofed giant is quite smooth. Therefore, in the southern states of America, the use of longhorns instead of horses is now becoming more and more popular. The opportunity to ride a longhorn unites him with another beast, the bison. This, of course, is much more dangerous, so such a hobby is exclusively the lot of professionals. And something like this should not be repeated in any case at home. Wild bison should never be approached. But some modern cowboys ride both types of bulls. The bison was probably originally born on a farm, and probably this would explain its docile nature that you're seeing right now. Admit it, it would be better if the colonizers did not hunt these bulls, but just saddled them. An amazing picture. A man riding a huge bull, but not at a rodeo, but on a quiet walk. It seems that both bison and longhorn like to spend their time like this. Like other bulls, these ungulates are not prone to panic, unlike many other herbivores. Even a mature stallion can panic if he is surrounded by wolves on all sides. If the longhorn is calmer, he would rather fight back and defend his rider than carry and abandon his man. Would you like to ride on the back of such a beast? Would you feel safe? Share your opinion in the comments. And if you have already saddled such animals and ridden them, then we are waiting for more interesting stories from you. The lioness did not expect such a terrible blow. The bull did not just swoop in and sweep away the opponent. He lifted the cat on its horns, hooked it with a sharp tip, and began to shake it like a rag. And the rest of the lionesses are shocked by such a rodeo. Just pay attention to exactly where the tip of the bull's horn hit, in the inguinal ford, which connects the lioness's hind leg and her torso. The predator was not able to free itself from such a trap on its own. She can only count on the mercy of the bull. And this ungulate is not used to showing such bright qualities towards enemies. The bull takes advantage of the opportunity to inflict maximum damage to the predator by 100% and mercilessly shakes the body of the lionesses. Pay attention to the ease with which the buffalo picks her up and throws her to the ground, then picks her up again and repeats the blow. Although the herbivore does not have a large, almost five-fold advantage in mass, the fact that the bull makes almost no effort and can be the lionesses for so long is amazing and frightening. You can also sympathize with the cat here. Her sisters want to come to her aid, but they can't. The bull is able to hit the attacking lioness with her own sister. Therefore, predatory cats can only wait for the berserker's rage to evaporate. And the bull will get a little bit tired and then just release the lioness. It seems that although the horn clung securely to the huntress's body, there were no deep puncture wounds at all. Of course, she is guaranteed a concussion and several broken ribs, but the lioness has a chance to survive here. It is hoped that she will learn a lesson from this case, and even when she fully recovers thanks to the care of her relatives, she will no longer attack bulls. At least on such strong and ruthless ones. Usually, bulls either do not pay attention to the cars of nature researchers, or they are afraid of transport. But this huge, massive ungulate behaves unusually. It starts playing with the car. People are lucky that the bull is not aggressive and does not try to attack either the vehicle or the people in its cabin. One can only assume that will happen if muscles weighing more than half a ton crashes into the car. But instead of conflict, we see a game. Just look at how this cute little guy jumps on the spot and flaunts in front of the camera. He seems to know that he is being filmed and wants to become a YouTube star. Admit it, such behavior requires courage because cars for wild animals are something strange, they're noisy and frightening. But the bull doesn't really care about the engine noise. He wants to have fun and dance. Nature researchers did not expect exactly this, and to be honest, we are too, but nature is amazing.